of the states have the same information. For instance, i.e., real estate that's real property is immovable, and real estate that's personal property is movable. So there's a lot of things that you can get from watching our video. However, today we're emphasizing on Texas and the national exam. And sometimes I will say, okay, this is the same way in California. So we were doing Texas the other day, and I went through, and on page 6 and 7, it was going through a lot of different careers that you could have with a real estate license. And it's interesting because in Texas, there's a career in real estate counseling, and you'd have to be a real estate agent for quite a while, an expert, in order to be a real estate counselor. But we don't have real estate counselors in California. So depending on the state you're in, you can see if they have some of the same careers. Now, it does emphasize that a career in property management would give you a steady income. So the other day when I was teaching Texas, I said, on page 6 and 7, it just goes through all the different types of careers, even on page 8. And when I'm talking about page 8, I'm working out of the principles book for Texas, the first half. So that would be part 1. And in the other videos, I say which school it is, which is the Real Estate Business School. And the Real Estate Business School is actually amazing because they also teach you things to do to get more business in real estate. And they're really there to help you with your real estate career. That's the reason that I like referring to them, because I'm one of these people that I'm all about helping you get your license, because I got to tell you, I got my real estate license when I was around, I want to say 23 or 24 years old, and I had already been investing in real estate. And a lot of people don't realize that if you want to be a buyer or a seller and you have your own license, you can represent yourself. But I will say, make sure that you do a couple of transactions with a real estate professional so that you know what you're supposed to be doing. A lot of people think you just get your license and you magically know what to do in real estate. But anyway, I highlighted some of this stuff in here on page 9 that talks about property managers. But it talks about the same thing, whether you're in California, Texas, Colorado, wherever you are, about being a property manager and living in a place. So a great way to get started in real estate is if you can find a apartment complex where you can be the property manager. So you live in there and you take care of the other people. I'll show you what it says. It says a property manager of a residential or commercial properties may be required to have a real estate license. However, if you're an on-site manager of an apartment complex, it's not required to be licensed. So what a great way. I had a student that lived up north, and her husband and her kids lived in an apartment. They had no rent because part of her pay was free rent. They had no rent. She took care of the apartment complex, and she was able to save money to buy a home. So an on-site manager of an apartment complex is not required to have a license. Some of the manager's duties would be, so if you're an on-site property manager, your duty would be advertising the property when you're looking for tenants, qualifying the new tenants, signing a lease with the new tenants, and supervising maintenance and record keeping. So those are some of the things, if you lived in an apartment complex, that you would have to do as a property manager without a license. But I would tell you that you would learn a whole lot about property management by doing that job, at the same time getting free rent, right? Not all of them give you free rent. Some of them give you discounted rent. So in Texas, and I know in California, it depends on the size of the complex, but make sure that you know that if you're an on-site manager, you don't have to have a license. IREM. So I was trying to do this, and that's why I cut off. I was wondering, why did I cut off when I was teaching about Texas? But it was because they have these initials for things, and then you have to know how to say them. So IREM is the Institute of Real Estate Management, and it provides a designation of a CPM. And what's a CPM? It's a certified property manager. So anytime you get a designation, normally you take the classes through your local association or your state association, not your local. So you have local association, state association, and national association. So your local association of realtors will do sometimes, a lot of times, free classes, but you're not going to get a designation. And sometimes your state will have classes that you can get designated in. And then the National Association of Realtors has these property management ones, and they have like first-time home buyer designations, but they do cost some money, and you have to look them up and see how much they cost. So I'm looking at getting a designation on teaching the forms, because everybody keeps saying, Sharon, Why don't you teach the forms? Because you teach so clearly that you help us understand. So I'm looking at that right now. But back to Texas. So you have an IREM, which is the Institute of Real Estate Management, and you would get a designation as a certified property manager. And it is recognized in the industry as a professional designation for property managers. However, in Texas, they have something that I think they should have in every single state. I don't know why we don't have this in every single state, but we should, because here it goes. It's very cool. It's the Education Committee. How about that? How about we here in California get an education committee? They don't have that. What they're doing now is they're updating the test for California, and they're updating it with a group of people. Sometimes they switch them out and they go through all the questions and answers and the rules and regulations of real estate. However, Texas has an education committee. And the Education Standard Advisory Committee, that's what they're called. You have to know this if you're in Texas. The Education Standard Advisory Committee, also known as ESAC, okay, is a committee created and they work for TRELA. So you see that we have all these acronyms that you have to know in Texas. TRELA stands for Texas Real Estate. Oh God, what's that LA stand for? Enacted. I don't know what it stands for. It doesn't say anywhere. So I'm sure we're going to find it. But it says it was enacted in 2011 under the Senate Bill 747. The committee reviews and revises curriculum standards, courses, content requirements, and instructor certification requirements for qualified and CE courses. So they go through and they update the content. The committee is made up, you do have to know this, that the TREL, I know that T stands for Texas, and I know RE is real estate, but it must be LA. We'll figure it out. We'll keep going because I'm learning it with you, because what I'm going to do is every state I teach, I'm going to get my license so that I can say I'm licensed in the state, I've gone through the test, and I know how to teach it. So there's 12 members, and it says 7 members who have been engaged in the practice of real estate for at least 5 years. I'm going to bet on the Texas exam that they're going to ask you how many members and what the members do and how long the real estate members had to be in real estate. So there's some good questions right there for the exam. 12 members, 7 members who are engaged in real estate practice for at least 5 years, and 4 members who are real estate instructors or owners of real estate schools that are accredited by the Texas Real Estate Commission. So the Texas Real Estate Commission is TREC, which provides core and continuing education, and 1 member who represents the public. So a non-voting TREC staff member may also be appointed. All ESAC, which is Education Standard Advisory Committee, members are appointed by the Texas Real Estate Committee. Got that? So that is in one paragraph that's gray on page 9 of the book I'm working out of. And remember, if you're watching my videos, please give me a like. Please subscribe, because when you subscribe, you're going to keep learning. And if you have it so it gives you information when I'm coming on, you'll be able to see it live instead of watching the video. But I realize that most of us have real jobs and we have to work during the day. It's just today I got out of taking my mom to the hairdresser in the morning. So I'm getting all my videos done today. So ESAC is the process of revising the curriculum. They are in the process of revising the curriculum for all required core, SAE, and CE courses. ESAC is long-term. They have a long-term goal, which is great. Long-term goals are to review all core curriculums, content, course fees, and approval process to determine the acceptability of the various courses delivered in methodology, alternative evaluation methods of student mastering, and providing qualifications and instructors qualifications. So they want to make sure that the students who are learning real estate have qualifications to learn it, and they do what they're supposed to do before they take their exam. And they want to make sure that the instructors are qualified to teach. And hopefully I can be qualified to teach on the Texas committee That would be really fun. So that is all on page 9. Going on to page 10, it says the real estate market. So I really want to dig deeper into the real estate market, and I know page 10 is going to be pretty long because it talks a lot about stuff that's going on. So I just wanted to get that information to you about the education committee, how they have it, and the members who are on it, so that you know if you're asked about the committee, you know how many people are on the committee, how you qualify to be on the committee, and the fact that you can also get a property management designation. So that's what I'm going to give you for now. And if I can give you little bits and pieces, 10 to 15 minutes every time I come on, it's going to be easier for you to learn this. And when you take your exam, you'll be able to pass the first time. How about that? So if you have any questions, or you have a state that you want me to research and find out what you need to do to get your license, because some states you have to have what we call brick and mortar. And brick and mortar means you have to have a place that you live in. You have to be a citizen. Well, you have to have your driver's license and show that you live there, or they won't let you get your license there. So there's different states that have different qualifications, and as we go along, I'm going to be researching them. And if you have any questions at all, or you want to put a comment in there of another state that you want me to talk about, I will do it. Just let me know. And one of these days I'm going to get a clicker that works so I can just click it off. But hopefully my girl can edit the end, because I never shut this off right. But that's okay, because it doesn't hurt the content. So we'll see you later. Remember, I come on Monday through Friday. And if you miss me live, you can always watch the video. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you in the real estate business. Bye.